play as they get ready to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. Charles, good matchup here. A couple of playoff teams from a season ago.
And just think about how the NFL works, partner. 8 teams that made the playoffs the year before didn't make it last season. So there's always going to be parity in this league, and guys have to be ready to go. Just because you made it the year before doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get back again.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Bringing them out will be Kirk Cousins, born just outside of Chicago, played his college ball for the Spartans at Michigan State.
I do hear some mild criticism of Kirk Cousins and his play the last few seasons in Washington, mainly because the team was just 24-23-1. But I also saw a quarterback with an offensive line that essentially introduced itself to each other in the huddle before the first snap. In Seattle, gets one of the best defenses in the NFL. Win that game with big plays late. This is a tough-minded, hard-nosed, gritty quarterback that tends to inspire a team to play better around him.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down. And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved. Able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. And to me, this play says our guy is better than your guys. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people. And right away, they told the other team, guess what? He's just better.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game. And you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
A 1st down throw for Cousins. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Well, let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
When I see Latavius Murray with the ball in his hands, I think that he's a dangerous player. He has good speed, good presence to run inside, nice toughness, and good vision that once he gets past the first line of defense, he can make a guy miss and turn it into a bigger game.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. The left side caught by Diggs. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Cousins on 1st down. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Cousins again. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen. Thielen was terrific in Week 4. 8 catches, 135 yards, and a score against the Rams.
First player with at least 100 receiving yards in each of his team's first 4 games since Randy Moss was a Patriot in 2007. So that tells me a lot about, one, how he's playing, but how cool is this for Adam Thielen, who is a Minnesota native, grew up and went and played college ball at Minnesota State, and now is emulating Randy Moss, whose jersey he had and wore as a kid when Randy was with the Vikings.
They'll run with Cook, and this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. He'll get it up the middle. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. It's a pickup of 3, but still a little work to do on 3rd and goal. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? To throw, Cousins. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Dan Bailey now for the field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Philadelphia working their way out there, led by Carson Wentz. And through 4 weeks of the season, Philly at 2-2. Tough loss last week in overtime to Tennessee. Now, Wentz was pretty good. 2 touchdowns, no picks, Charles. But if you look at the offense collectively, they've had some issues.
They have, and you mentioned the word efficient. He was able to hit Zach Ertz, his tight end, a bunch of times that game. He had a big-time performance against Tennessee. But out wide is where the struggle is because Mike Wallace is hurt. He's out for the season. He's their deep threat. Alshon Jeffrey had his first game action this week against Tennessee. He had been out with a shoulder injury. The running backs are dinged up. Not the same consistent unit that they had last year. Everyone trying to get in sync.
Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And the tight end, Zach Ertz, is key in this offense as we get a look at the starters.
Comes out of the factory known as Stanford, which keeps putting out tight ends. Zach Ertz, one of the better ones we've seen in recent years.
Wentz to throw on second down. And that'll be incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
Let's take a good, strong look at Linval Joseph, the defensive tackle. I'm telling you, the spotlight you need for him has to be large because he holds down the middle of the defensive line as well as anyone in the league. What I loved about him, the offseason, took a trip with the Vikings tours to Iceland.
Iceland, yeah, that's right.
To connect with the Viking heritage. Skol, Linval.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. Now a hit and a loose football.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turned it over there. That's a big momentum changer and put your defense in a bad spot.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. On 2nd down, Cook. And an alley to run. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
All right, now here we go.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So after the penalty, here's 2nd and 3. Cook following the penalty. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. So on 4th down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Wild, to kick it away. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Next to receivers, they'll spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Just held on to the football too long there, Charles. That's point blank, right?
Yeah, I agree with that totally. You've got to have that internal clock that goes in your head that says either get rid of the football or flush and go and use your legs and try and pick up the 1st down. I think he hung in there too long, and the blitz got to him.
The Eagles send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Sherrills to return it. Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. As Minnesota comes back onto the field, let's take a peek, Charles, at what they've done so far this year. 1-2-1, a tough Week 5 matchup at Philly. Yeah, this was a team that many thought could be the best in the league. Not the start that their fans envisioned.
Yeah, not the start, but their fans may want to reflect back to last season. This team started 2-2 and then won 8 in a row and 11 of 12 on their way to the NFC Championship game. So maybe just a little bit of patience with them now. The deal for Kirk Cousins in the offseason, I think, is paying great dividends, even though the record doesn't show it. 10 touchdowns against only 2 interceptions. I thought he was marvelous last Thursday night against the Los Angeles Rams. Matched Jared Goff essentially throw for throw. He was terrific. Their defense, the aspect that's supposed to carry them, that's what they have to shore up right now. And their head coach, Mike Zimmer, says, we're going to get that done. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They run the counter with Cook. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Matt Weil now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now Sproles. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over a 1st and 10. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And nearly a touchdown as they finally stop him down at about the 3-yard line.
Hey, whatever happened to the days of just getting a fumble recovery? Everyone's into taking it the other way and trying to create points themselves, aren't they?
Well, they are. And now a terrific opportunity inside the 5. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? 1st and goal. They'll run for it with Cook. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. Now they'll run. Murray. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
This Eagle defense, they won't give in without a fight. This is 3rd and goal. And before they can run another play, the clock hits 000. And time is up on the 1st quarter. The Vikings are in the lead early. And we're back to Philadelphia after this. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. This Eagle defense, they won't give in without a fight. This is 3rd and goal. Now Cousins. Open man is Treadwell, and he's got it for the Minnesota touchdown. Laquan Treadwell, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the lead grows to 10-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Bailey now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. Alshon Jeffrey working his way back out there now to help lead this offense. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll begin the drive with a jive. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
This is a jive. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. On play action, it's Wentz. He's set, looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
So it's 3rd and long, and you know this is going to be a pass. So defensively, they're bringing an extra defensive back and just blanking the field. And this is an ill-advised throw right here as it winds up being picked off easily.
Now come the Vikings. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
Handoff comes to Cook. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Tackle made that time by Brandon Graham.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Second down, Cousins. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he finds Cook. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 15 and a first.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Cousins now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. A give. This is Cook. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Now Cook. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. So he runs it for 1 yard, then no gain. I don't know that you go back to that well here on 3rd down.
Yeah, I don't know that you do as well, but if you want to get the ball to him, if you want him to have it, maybe get him into space and throw it to him.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Cousins. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. A pickup of 11, and it moves the chains.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
On the carry, it's Cook. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
On the ground, it's Cook. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Cousins. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Here's Carson Wentz now with the rest of his offensive unit heading onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Here's a handoff to Sproles to start the drive. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz toward the sideline, and he will have the 1st down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. A Philadelphia 1st down, Wentz finding Matthews.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right through it. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37. They run with Ajayi. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 6.
Well, now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in, 3rd and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 6. Working from the gun, Wentz. And he hits his man, Matthews. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. And they get 14 yards there and a 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Go. 20.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And Matthews over the middle with a grab. And he's got this down to the 35. Same result as last play, 14 yards and another 1st down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Wentz now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. To throw, it's Wentz. And that's incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Here we go. Back.
Wentz will try again on 2nd down. Goes underneath for Sproles. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
The Eagles on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
Go. 120.
Wentz to throw again. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. His first catch, good for 14 there and a 1st down.
Can't have enough good pass-catching tight ends in the NFL. The Eagles, they wanted to replenish their stock. They lost Trey Burton in the offseason, so they selected Dallas Goedert out of South Dakota State in the 2nd round, and he is nothing but a big-time pass catcher.
What a great story, because South Dakota State didn't offer him a scholarship out of high school. He walked on there.
Yeah, so now Zach Ertz has a running mate at tight end.
Wentz going to lead his guys up 1st and 10, and he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Now Wentz again. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick, but instead it falls down incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Here we go. 120.
Again, it's Wentz. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. In for the score. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. That one in the books as a 12-play drive, and it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. Elliott now to kick this one away. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half. Unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
Here's Matt Weil now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Sproles, the return. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at Darren Sproles as he works his way back onto the field for this next go-around. He's just been looking for some space. You know, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They go play action here on 1st down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. On first down, Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing on first is Wentz. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Wentz. He's going to loft one deep left side here. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Well, earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And the kick by Elliott is good. And that will knock things up here late in the first half. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. Here comes Sherrills. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. A first down throw for Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll get him down here at the 23. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. So we have reached halftime here in a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. But they are all even to this point. So to see if either side can pull away, let's get you right back out to Brandon and Charles for the start of the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This is taken at his 4. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. To throw is Wentz. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They've got great field position, obviously, to start this drive. Tie game, do you maybe go a little riskier here with that great field position?
I think some guys look at it and say, let's go. Be aggressive. Be bold. Let's get it downfield right now. Other guys will look at it and say, you know something? I think we're in a position to get 3 points if we don't make any big mistakes. Run our offense, get in that spot, and see if you get the 3, and hopefully maybe even more.
Either way, I bet they're happy to have options. Following the interception, Cousins. Throw left side complete. It's Morgan. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. They run, Cook, and he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
On third down, Cousins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they will take the lead at 13-10. Well, they don't get a touchdown here in the opening drive of the third quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Come on now, all right. Come on now. Let's go.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Ajayi. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Ben Gideon in on the stop. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now it's Ajayi. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. Wentz now 9 of 17 through the air. Not a great percentage, but it is 1st and 10.
Here we go. Waiting.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Brought down, but after we saw a flashy little move, stopped short of the 40. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
And Anthony Barr just has it all as far as I'm concerned in terms of physique, athletic ability, and now he's versatile as well. When he came out of UCLA, he'd played outside linebacker, but also down defensive end. The Vikings can utilize those same sort of skills.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Here we go. Back. 20.
Shotgun now for Wentz. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They've really been able to contain Alshon Jeffrey. That catch a rare exception in this game.
And that's a feather in their cap because he's such a tone setter for his team on offense that they try and get him the ball early. And, of course, what comes after that is often. And for them to limit him and him not catch a ball until the second half, it's a big reason why his team is behind on the scoreboard.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with a J. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Here we go. 20.
Now Wentz. This is taken in by Jeffrey. He's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey from a yard out. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT, and that will make this a 4-point game. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, give him 14.
Whether it's what we call an even front or an odd front, and an odd front's real easy to figure out. If that guy is lined up over the nose of the center, typically that's an odd front defense. Odd number of people, meaning 3-4 versus the 4-3, which is an even front. You've got to control those guys in the middle. Whether it's the nose or the 2 defensive tackles in a 4-man front, if those guys can't get moved, you cannot run the ball in the middle of the field. And in that play, they were able to actually take care of business.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Michael Bennett in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Bennett, of course, a big offseason pickup for the Eagles.
And they love his versatility. He can play defensive end, defensive tackle in obvious pass situations, 9.5 sacks last season in Seattle, and the smallest shoulder pads for a man his size we've ever seen.
And a 3-time Pro Bowler to boot. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Cousins now. Now they go screen. It's complete. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the gun, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Here's Matt Weil now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Here we go. 20.
They'll start out on the ground with a J. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They got to feel pretty good about that one.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Here we go.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 5 out of 9 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. And they'll go on the ground. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Now a first carry for their fullback. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way. The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. The tackle was made by Michael Bennett.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw, Cousins. And he's going to go down in the end zone. Cousins taken down for the safety. So the screen pass goes backwards. That play seemed to have a potential disaster written all over it from the start.
I mean, wasn't that a tough spot on the field to make that call? You're inviting defensive linemen and linebackers to get pressure. So if one of them sniffs this out, you're definitely in danger. And this time, it cost them 2 points.
So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. This is taken at the 18. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Now a play fake. Wentz. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, but I believe it was covered by an Eagle. It was, and Philadelphia is going to hold on to the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
The 1st down play, to be frank, nothing short of awful, and now they have to deal with 2nd and very long. Now Wentz throwing on second down. He's going to float this one. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call.
False start, offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now a run with Cook. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Give him a couple on the run there. It'll be 2nd and 13.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
Second down, Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking 1st down.
And that's understanding where the markers are, because it's not just running to them. Because on the catch, you could actually be pushed back before the 1st down. It's getting past it and allowing that opportunity to drip back towards the 1st down line and still having picked it up. Really well run.
Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Play action now. Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And a nice gain of 21 yards. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. On 1st down, Murray. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
back to the ground. This time Cook. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
They come up on a 1st and goal and most likely 4-down territory as they need a touchdown and the PAT for the lead. They'll run with Cook. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Now Cousins. And Rudolph has got it. The big tight end for a Viking touchdown. Kyle Rudolph from 3 yards out. And if the Vikings can take care of business on the extra point, they will have the lead.
While in Washington, Kirk Cousins had the pleasure of throwing to Jordan Reed at tight end for the last few seasons. And now that he's moved to Minnesota, he has Kyle Rudolph, who may not be quite as athletic as Jordan Reed, but still has excellent hands and knows how to make plays in the red zone.
Here's Bailey now for the extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. That time a 9-play drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Bailey now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Still going. Now he lost the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Alshon Jeffrey so dangerous even when a defender's near him.
He's got such a big body, ability to run, positions himself well, excellent control. And you're exactly right. Even if people are draped on him, he often comes up with the catch. He really symbolizes what people are looking for in receivers in today's NFL.
Wentz now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Working from the gun. Wentz looking for the end zone. And that is caught. It's Aguilar for the Eagle touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz. And the Eagles have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. They'll try and run it with Ajayi. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
You know, sometimes the guy on the defensive side of the ball, he just has a good feeling or a good read, and he unleashed his defense on that one. Boy, they stopped him in a big way.
Yeah, I hate to be cliche, but sometimes we overanalyze. They just have more want. Looked like they had more want right there.
More want and more people to the ball.
Elliott now to kick this one away. Here comes Sherrills. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And the numbers show the improvement, and this is kind of what we thought we would expect to see from him. I know we overanalyze these things sometimes, but what switch? What's flipped that switch?
Sometimes I think when you're as great as he is, you just kind of roll out each game and expect good things to happen. And that's not always the case. Those guys on the other side of the ball, they're in the NFL too for a reason. So maybe at halftime he gets a chance to regroup, kind of get it back together, get a little extra resolve, and now he's putting it into practice.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. They go play action. Cousins. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Again, it's Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
After the false start, sets up a 3rd and 9. And they'll run it here. Oh, no, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And no, it's incomplete. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Eagles defense able to hold. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. I've seen that, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Go. 120.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. Ertz over the middle. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because they'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And this is Ertz with it, right side. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
these guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. The Eagles send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
Left side caught by Diggs. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, 1st round went to the offense, 2nd round the defense. And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
They're working out of the gun. Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Hey, we talked about Adam Thielen a little bit last year, didn't we? Possession receiver, makes some tough catches, gets it done, and he's a homeboy. Grew up very close to the Twin Cities.
And showing those possession receiver skills right there to pick up the 1st. Kirk Cousins with 4 game-winning drives as a member of the Redskins a year ago. He's got a 1st and 10 here. 1st down. Here's Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Cousins again. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A good pickup. They get 8, but it's 3rd down now. This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the 1st down. Close it out.
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. Running for it. Here's Cook. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. He's back to throw. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
Back to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up defensively. You pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. And if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback and then make sure you blanket the field.
He'll look to throw, and he's able to find Diggs. The Vikings 1st down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins. They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles.
What you just saw there, 1st-round talent, 2nd year, even more success. A pick-6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really start to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year 1. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. Elliott on for the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Here comes Sherrills. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
So that one will be accepted. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. 4 yards there on the carry, gets it back to 2nd and 11. Cousins now on 2nd down. And his throw is incomplete.
When we start looking for big-time corners, we're going to start with athleticism. But without technique, you're not going to make plays as one we just saw there.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
And I think we'll probably see them go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that one.
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. As they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. They run again with a J. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the fourth. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. The Eagles on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now Wentz on the bootleg. Completes it to a J. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as he'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. The Eagles in the victory formation as they take a knee.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal, that's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Eagles are winners here as we say so long from Philadelphia.